Hi everyone, my name is Kristen and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my personal favorite hobbies, which is jewelry making. Today I'm going to show you some basic steps on things that you can do to make jewelry at home. I'll show you a few of the supplies that you might need and some different things to consider if you're looking to make some jewelry. And I would invite you, if you have any questions at all, to please put them in the comments and I'm happy to answer them or direct them no matter what you're looking for. I will also say that I am not a jewelry making expert. I'm just someone who really enjoys it as a hobby. So I hope that you find this helpful and please feel free to make your own designs, make your own creative space. And just because I show you one way of doing it doesn't mean it's the best way. So one of the best things that I've discovered about jewelry is that you find your own way to design things. You find your own way to be creative about the way you're going to put things together. And when you see sometimes directions from a particular place and you think, oh, I'm going to try it this way, you discover that you can actually do something differently and it turns out really well. So let's get started. So some of the things that I use are various types of wire. Now, depending on the wire that you want to use, it can be different colors. It can be of different sizes, different qualities or strengths. One of the things that I always say is the smaller the gauge, the larger your wire is going to be. So my preference tends to be between 18 to 22 gauge wire. I find it tends to fit through most beads that I use and it's sturdy enough that it holds the quality of the jewelry piece together. So whether it be earrings, necklaces, or bracelets, the weight of the beads, it tends to stay up for. The next thing that I use is needle nose based pliers. You'll see that it has a thin enough ridge that I can bend or twist or manipulate wire. It has the pressing that allows me to press the wire together to make it more sturdy, and the cutting edge as well that I can cut my wire for whatever size that I might need. The next things that I use tend to be jewelry clasps. So this just allows me to close a necklace or a bracelet depending on what I'm making. I also will use sometimes the fishhook earrings. So I'll make different size earrings or different designs with those. And sometimes I'll also use chains to help with adding beads onto them. That allows me to be creative in a different way. And then sometimes, depending on what I'm making, especially if I'm making earrings or if I want to add a pendant or something to the necklace I'm making, I use these little pin heads, and the pin heads allow me to put beads on, but the beads don't fall off because of the end on those. And then of course, one of the most important things that I use are beads. So if you're like me, I have a large quantity of beads of various different sizes, types, colors, design. So let's start with some basic earrings. So for earrings, the best thing to do is to find pin heads if you are going to be using just single beads or not wrapping your wire around the beads. So for something basic like this, I would use this to start with. You can always take just one single bead and place the bead on the pin head, which then just makes for a simple drop earring that you can attach to a fisheye hook. My preference sometimes is to add a little extra decor to the beads. So you can find things called spacer beads, which just look like these, but you can add them to the top or the bottom of your beads, depending on what type of design you would like to have. And it just adds a little extra flair for whatever design that you are trying to make. Then, once you have whatever beads you're going to use for your earring, if it's just one single piece like this then means that you can clip off your wire so you can bend it into attaching it to the fisheye hook. So from here, all I would do is I would leave enough space that I can get my finger in between the beads and the wire, and I'll clip the bead like that. From here, you want to twist the wire back and then start twisting it forward. This might seem a little counterproductive, but actually twisting your wire like this back and then forward allows you to create a simple loop. Now that you see that I have the beads with the loop almost closed, I'll go in and get one of the earring hooks that I use for the earrings. And all I would do is simply attach the earring hook onto the almost closed loop like this. Then all you want to do is take your pliers and close the loop. Once your loop is closed and you have everything together, one important step is to go in at the edge of the loop where the wires connect and to just give it a little bit of a press. This just makes sure that the wire will stay in place and stay sturdy through the wear that it will have. And from there, you have a basic earring. So here you can see I've continued the structure all the way around, making a design of lava beads with some other spacer beads and colorful beads. And on the last part of the bracelet, I have left a slightly open loop on the last bead. So now I'm simply going to take the other end of the clasp and connect it onto the open loop like this. And then it's just a matter of taking the pliers and closing the loop and then giving it a good press. A couple tips that I have found throughout the process of jewelry making has been, once you get the hang of making your links with the wire, the more consistent sizing you can do, the better. And the great thing about jewelry and wire making is that it's easy to take a link out if you make a mistake and replace it, or if you decide you want a different design, to edit it a little bit, than when it's even on a string and you have to take everything off. So that's a bracelet. So as you continue your jewelry making, you may get ready to add in extra links. So for example, with these earrings, you'll see instead of just having that one bead drop, there's a couple beads on them. You can also add clusters of beads or different designs. Some people like to wrap wire around their beads depending on the design that they're looking for. So this is a pre-made set of earrings that I have designed the other day to go with the necklace that I will make with you now. So for bracelets, as I showed you, I tend to go from the clasp around. For necklaces, I actually like to start in the center and build out. And I find that it is easier to do that because then you're able to center everything, make sure everything's aligned as it goes up the neck. So I have found a pendant that I like. Some pendants tend to hang down vertically, some pendants tend to go horizontally. So this one is a horizontal pendant. So when you start with your pendant, if it's vertical, you can use one of those drop head pins like I had showed you before, like we would use on a necklace, or earring, sorry. For this necklace, because it's horizontal, we're simply going to put wire through and put a loop with a teardrop shape on either end like this. From here, we're going to start adding in the beads that we'd like to add to the design. So I've already added a few for you so you can see. And so this is the start of a necklace. So very simply, similar to a bracelet, we're just using the wire links and adding beads as we go. Some people, as they get more comfortable, they like to add multiple strands to their necklaces. Some people like to add extra fancy designs or extra drops. So for a simplified necklace, this one's really nice because you don't have to worry about adding the drop in the middle and getting it all centered, because you already have just a horizontal pendant, but it adds some extra flair to the necklace. So from here, we're just gonna go piece by piece and adding extra beads until we have the design that we want with the length that we want for the necklace. So there you have a very simplified version of making jewelry. If you want to make longer necklaces, shorter necklaces, bigger earrings, smaller earrings, there's lots of different kinds of even necklaces that you can make that don't just include the links. So you can attach beads on the pin heads, the chains. There's so many different ways to be creative. And I would love to see what you do. So if you already make jewelry, or if you decide to try something, I'd love to see some photos in the comments of what you do, and share it with us so we can see how you're being creative for either your holiday hobbies or holiday gift giving for the next little while.